interview like a career. For today, it will be business development and change management with Natassha. She is my friend. She is working and living in Malaysia. So this is the program that will help you to discover about career that are existing in the reality of the world of working. Maybe you don't know yet that it is existing or you don't never know about it before. So today let's discover about this career, business development and change management with Natassha. Hello Natassha, welcome.
Hello, hi Bess. Thanks for inviting me onto your show.
Thank you so much for joining me today. It's the first episode for career interview, and it's my honor to have you as my best friend and the one that I know you have good mindset and good knowledge, and yeah, you are success in your career as well. So it's my honor and pleasure very much to have you here for today for the first episode for career interview. Thank you so much, Natasha.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much, Bez. And I think it's very high praise, but I'll try to do my best. And and I truly support this program that you're doing. And yeah, I'm very interested to see how it fares and how we could actually be of some contribution for those who might be interested in this sort of career path.
Mm. Even like even like maybe they don't have to do like this career, but it's good to know, like to know that oh this job, this work is about this, how to do to fix something like this in the future, so they can use for like I say to make decision for their life, for their work life in the future. So it's really good to know even like they decide to do it or not. So yeah, I'm glad that you be here to share with us today. So let's start with maybe Natasha do some self introduction and a little brief of your career.
Okay, so basically, I'm the head of business development and change management lead for a company called SW1 Solutions. So, SW1 Solutions, mainly we are in an easier way to put it, we're an interior design firm that specializes in designing corporate offices, but we actually see ourselves as workplace specialists. So basically, meaning that we come up with workplace strategies and solutions for our clients. Other than this designing beautiful offices, we make sure that that form also comes function, and function always plays an important part, right?
Mm.
So I'm based out in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and this is very exciting because I know you're out in Bangkok, Thailand, and this is something that's interesting. We're doing something cross border. Thailand is also very famous with beautiful architecture and interior design as well. Basically a place where in the region, I think you guys thrive very well. I've been in the industry, I mean, particularly this industry for about, okay, my math is really bad. So I've been in it since November 2014. So I found that this is a niche, a market niche, which I find very, very interesting. So yeah, I mean, I guess in a gist, that is basically what I do when where I am. And for business development, basically, it's not just about sales or marketing. It's basically the work in itself. I develop business for the company. So it's about short term, medium term, and long term planning.
Mm.
Change management, basically, what we're focusing on, because we're workplace specialists, we're looking into the workplace change management process. Right, because for those who know what change management is, it's a very broad spectrum. You can change your business process and procedures. You can change your HR management system. You can change a lot of things. So
Mm.
for us, to supplement my the business that we're doing at SW1 as workplace specialists, we also tackle on workplace change management.
So you are the for if we are talking about this work like business development and change management here. So you have to like specific. You have to create strategy for business to drive business result in the future, or and in another way for change management, you have to improve what is happening in your company or what you want to improve in the future, right?
Yes, correct. That's correct.
Okay, so if we are talking about separately, like for straight business development part, there are many kind of business development in the market, like business development, but business development in each company in each workplace is very different. So if we are talking about your work. For business development here. So it's really a business development, right?
Yeah. So
Mm.
yeah, I mean I think I understand what you're asking. So you're absolutely right, spot on, Bess. So business development in itself in different industries and in different organizations even actually carry different weight and different definitions. Okay,
Mm.
so for an example, like I said, in business development there is an element of marketing. So meaning
Mm.
that you have to understand your company's brand, and then from that brand you will branch out and build a better market share for your company, so that your customers or your stakeholders, might be your business partners, possible business partners and prospects, they
Mm.
would have a better coverage or understanding as to, oh, okay, so you're doing this sort of business. So there's an element of marketing in business
Mm.
development. Definitely there's an element of sales as well, because the relationships that you build or the projects that you're trying to get definitely contributes actively into the sales of
Mm.
the business, right? So you build that relationship, you understand that, oh, there's a particular need from a
Mm.
client that I think that I can fulfill, and then I
Mhm.
turn that into revenue, and I mean sales, which in turn
Mm.
turns into revenue. So that's that aspect there. In
Oh,
business
okay.
development
Mhm.
also, there's also an aspect of client servicing. So client servicing basically means that if you have existing clients at the moment or even new clients, is to just purely on relationship building.
Mm.
So it's more about, okay, understanding the requirements that you have, and then after that to see whether we fit to be your service provider or your
Mm.
supplier, and then after that we build that experience for you. So there's
Mm.
different facets of business development.
Mm.
If you ask me in what I do, it's all of the above plus
Mhm.
other things as well, to be honest. For an example, I even venture into contractual roles, because we deal a lot of legal documentation. So when we get awarded with projects, I need to vet through the terms and conditions. So that's
Mm.
also part of what I do. But again, it really depends. But business development mostly entails these kind of roles. But if you ask me, at least
Mm.
in Malaysia, I'm not sure how it works in Thailand.
Mhm.
Business development is more often than not being skewed to sales. So
Mm.
they kind of like, okay, business development equals to sales, right?
Mm.
Which
Mm.
isn't really
Yes, yes.
necessarily the case, right?
Mm.
And even what I'm doing right now is also a business development initiative, because I'm putting myself out there on a public platform, and
Mm.
you have no idea whom this might reach to.
Mm.
So so those kind of things. But in Malaysia, predominantly it's that. But from
Mm.
what I do, it's even a broader perspective of
Mm.
roles, basically.
Mm. So you have to like how you say make a strategy to get new client to improve like internal process as well to drive the profit to build the revenue like for the whole organization, and you have to make it happen as well, right?
Yes, yes, of
Okay,
course.
great. So yeah, I'm quite really understand about your career right now. So how you become like how you became to do this work, like how you started, like I'm not sure, like you work about on this career since you graduated, or how you became to do this work, Natasha.
Okay. A very interesting question, because I would say that my journey is a bit interesting in its own way. So I actually graduated not for marketing, not from sales, right? So I actually was under the language faculty at a local university here, and my major is basically it's called professional communication. So it was still something which is very new here, but it's something which is very, very prevalent in the Western Hemisphere, especially in North America. So and people were just like wondering, what is this professional communication all about? So which also for me, I'm like, yeah, what is it about? So I would say there's an element of PR in there, but it's just that because it's under the language faculty, so the leverage that we have supposedly is the proficiency in the English language, right? So it's more about mass communication, but you have that edge for having a command of the language, which in order for you to be an effective communicator, you need to have that. So technically, this is the way to sell that. Yeah, we're kind of like a bit slightly better than those mass communication kids, right? That's the perception. The minor that I did was business administration. So technically, you can venture into anything. After you graduated, I have friends who went into broadcasting. I have friends who went into publishing. They went to so many different sectors. So for myself, I was from there. So I was like thinking, I want to be working. Like what was my career path? What is it that I want to do? So as you can see, I do talk a lot. I like to socialize. So I was like thinking somewhere along those lines. So ever since day one that I started working in 2011 or 2012, somewhere there, I've always been in the business development realm. So I started off as a customer service assistant at a logistics company, and then after that, I went into a trading company, and I became what they call a sales, marketing in something, sales and marketing.
Sales and marketing,
Yeah, executive, something like
Okay.
that. Which I also learned a bit of procurement as well, because I was the only staff. It's okay, So and then after that, I went into a telco company, or telecommunications contractor, more of it, and I start my business development journey, right? So and then after that, I ventured into interior design, and I've always been in business development. So technically, I've always been in it since day one that I've started working like 10 years ago.
Okay, so since when that you notice about yourself that you like to talk with people, you like to use communication skill? Since when this that you discover about this that you like?
Okay. Actually, it was during my university days. I have to say, although I'm like this, perhaps I'm actually an introvert by nature at the start, because I don't have a big group of friends. Even at school, I have good close friends, and I'm very tight with them, right? So I don't really just gallivant and just be friends with everybody, because I guess that building the trust and building getting the same wavelength and mindset, that was very important. And then when I got into university, despite me being how I am with the people that I'm close with, I do like I said, I like to talk, I like to express myself. And then there came this opportunity to enter a debate competition, right? So I joined the debate competition representing my faculty at that time, and I found the experience exhilarating. Because it was a mix of feelings. You're scared because you're given a topic like half an hour or 20 minutes before, and then you're going to have to present it, and either you're opposing for the topic or you're agreeing with the topic, and you only have 7 minutes to express yourself. So it's kind of like, you have to think fast, you have to concise everything and stuff, right? So that got me like, wow, this is cool, right? And although like topics which were tough that I had no idea of, it pushed me to like, okay, I need to research a bit more about this topic. I need to know about this kind of principle and all that. So that slowly forced me to be a bit more extroverted. So it forced me to mingle around, because then slowly, I represented, there was that because interstate kind of competition, because my local university has got branches all over the states in Malaysia. So I went to that, and then slowly I went to the HQ and then represented the university itself, going out against other universities, and then it goes a bit more regional, international. So just from my debating experience, because it forced me to speak to people, it forced me to, do research and read up, and it also forced me to mingle around, because it's all about networking between friends and all of that. So naturally, when I graduated 3-4 years down the road, I had that affinity to want to do something along those lines. I can imagine myself, being myself, and then, no offense to my lovely accounting friends, but just do accounting and my head down, and then just do my own thing, and then I'm just not built like that anymore. So that was my journey. So it continued from there, and then it still continues on now.
It's really quite clear about yourself when since you were studying, I think. So you know what you are really good at and what you have to go to, because you love like I say human interaction, interact with other people, and you like to compete. Like you like to uh, communicate with other people. So it's really quite like clear about your career or what you can do for living, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's really good to know and to know clear about ourselves. Even like for everyone, I think if we know ourselves better and faster or earlier, we can get to the right thing that we like to do. We will be happy to do in the future too. So yeah, what for I'm not sure, maybe it's the same answer, I think. What you love the most about this career, this work about business development and change management, what you love the most? Mhm.
Okay. I mean, other than the things that we might have guessed, like you said, yeah, that's along those lines. But I would definitely say what I love about it is that it constantly challenged me. So you try to imagine yourself, right? Put yourself in the shoes of, if given the opportunity, how would you develop the business that you are working in? It doesn't have to be interior design. It can be anything. In fact, it can also be, for an example, even a bakery, or let's say for an example, a boutique, or you're working in a fashion industry. How would you actually try to develop that business? So exactly like what you've mentioned earlier, it puts me in a position where I have to truly understand what the business is about, right? So I have to be the jack of all trades, because I'm going to have to be the face of the company. So I might not be any persons. So if they're going to ask you about something, you're going to have to be able to answer those questions or queries. Although you don't know them, there's a technique that you can learn on how to kind of negate that question, and then but you have to put it in the back of your mind, because then again, if one person is able to ask you that question, pretty sure that in the future there'll be other people that'll be more than able to ask you the same question. So you're going to have to always up the ante and make sure that, okay, I know how to respond to this next time, right? So that is a constant challenge, and it pushes me to constantly learn. It's kind of like, okay, is this where the ceiling is when it comes to the industry and my work? No, it's not. It's constantly diversifying. So when it's diversifying, then there's always constant learning. So from there, I feel like the challenge that's been posed excites me, but it's very tiring. I'm not going to lie, because once you're doing something, irregardless of whatever that you do, once you have passion in it, once you get into that high, it's a real high, and that it fulfills you. It makes you, you know um makes your desires feel achieved. But then when you hit your lows, you really hit the lowest of lows because you think that, oh, did I fail the company? Did I not do the best that I can? Did I not contribute? So all these things, when you have passion in what you do, it does have that sort of effect. So I like those, I would say, experiences that I've gone through in my career. So I would definitely say that that's the most exciting thing because I'm constantly challenging myself. I'm constantly trying to see that, okay, these are my peers, the competitors, which I see as peers. Okay, I see them as an equal. But then again, I'm just thinking that how can I leverage myself from them? Because at the end of the day, they are my competitors, and we always have to have that edge, and we have our own stuff, right? So it's always that, trying to just move ahead of the curve. And what's beautiful also in terms of what I do, I feel that when it forces you to understand the business as a whole, actually the propensity of you being able to understand to run a business is a lot higher because you need to understand the entire facet of how the business works from A to Z. So I think that's the thing that I love the most about my work. Everything else, working with other people, with amazing colleagues, with getting working with different types of clients, of course, that does come naturally. But for me, that's what I love the most. If not, I would have given up a long time ago. So I'm still in it. So
Yeah.
that's what I feel.
Agreed, because actually we cannot do something that we don't like, we not love, or we are not happy for a really long time. So yeah, the best way to success in career, in life, in work, so we have to do what we are really good at, what we are really love to do it. We are happy, so we don't have, like it said, we don't have to work, but we just having fun, like to work because we think like really love it, really happy to do it, right?
Yep.
Okay, so what about needed skill or knowledge beside like interpersonal communication, or language skill, or business knowledge? Beside that, what are needed skills or knowledge to know for that is really important to do this work?
Okay. I've actually figured this out when I've been given the responsibility to look for a subordinate, right? So I need to look for a team member now. Before this, I've just been working, just a manager, and I have people who are peers, the same level. So now that once I've gone up the ranks, then now I'm gonna have to learn to get subordinates, right? So this was the learning curve for me. So again, I'm not going to say all the typical things, right, that people used to say the skills that you need to have. From my observation, there's a few, right? And I think that this can be generalized. I don't think it's in anything in particular with my career, right? Number one is grit. And I think that, people who listen to some TED Talks, they've actually spoken about grit in quite extensively. So why do I say grit? Now, it relates back to what I said previously about, the challenges that you're going to have to face when, in any career, in fact, right? If you don't have that grit, which I see that actually a lot of, I don't want to generalize a generation, but this is from what I see is that people tend to be very judgmental very quickly. People tend to give up very quickly as well. So unless you work in tech, whereby constantly you're innovating and then you can keep jumping from one tech company to the other because technology is just going off rampant, that's fine. But if you're talking about different sorts of career paths in different industries, you need to have that perseverance. So it's actually a skill that you need to garner. How do I deal with difficult people, especially when they're difficult superiors and difficult peers, right? how do I deal with workload?
Mm.
How do I prioritize my time? As you can see, when I'm highlighting all of this, it all leads to one thing, which is actually work stress, because you're going to have to balance all of this out. So if you don't have grit, and if you don't have, secondly, is the right attitude, I don't think that you can actually thrive as much. And when you can't thrive as much, there's not much other new skills that you can learn,
Mm.
because you don't allow yourself that process of learning, because you let grit, meaning that you give up very fast, meaning that you kind of overanalyze things too quickly and then move on to another thing without giving that grace period or that gestation of you upskilling yourself. So I
Mm.
think skill number one, grit, is very important. And secondly, I would have to say, I don't want to, there's so many, right? But these two things I feel is very important is observation skills.
Mm.
Okay. Um, Not just listening, right? Because when you listen, yeah, of course, it's a high, for me, it's a heightened element of listening skills, which is observation.
Mm.
Now, where do I get to where I am? There was no formal training. It was everything. It was shadowing my managing director. It was following my design manager,
Mm.
and listening to them presenting and everything. And of course, in bigger MNCs, they have a very nice regimented training program that holds your hand from end to end. Great, right? But when you're working in SMEs, which is small medium enterprises,
Mm.
you're gonna have to be proactive
Mm.
if you want to succeed, right? So
Yes.
observation skills is important, because not that you sometimes you don't have the opportunity at that particular point in time to do that particular task, but you see others doing it, you see your superiors doing it, you see your vice presidents doing it, and the
Mm.
best way for you to learn is observe. You
Mm.
observe, and then you analyze, and then you and you see, okay, that's actually a good point. How do I do that in my own style? Because all
Mm.
of us have got individualities. Some
Yes.
people
Mm.
come out very assertive. I'm like I would say that I'm an assertive
Mm.
person.
Mm.
Some people, they're actually very subtle, very subliminal. They're very calm, right? No
Mm.
matter what your styles are, I think that once you learn and this observation skills, then you can have that thought process happening. It will definitely help you to improve,
Mm.
because there's a saying in Malay, right? In the direct translation would be, you learn from other people's mistakes. Because why?
Yes. Mm.
Simply because you cannot make all the mistakes in life. It's not possible, right? So you
Yeah.
have to learn from others. So I would say these two skills are one of the most important things,
Mm.
to have in any career.
Mm, great. Thank you so much for this one. I think it's very useful. So, like observation, or even like we have the model, right? That they did a great job, but in another way, we can observe like the how you say the bad model as well. Like, oh, they do like they did like that. Okay, we will not do like that, or we will improve it to be another way to work better. Yeah, like that. Also, so it's about
Absolutely.
observation and be open mind all the time to gain new knowledge, right? To be open, to be listen to like even like opinions or knowledge from other people or other channels that we can get in the future to be better, to be better about ourselves, to work better as well. Mm.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Agree with
Yeah.
you.
Okay. So what about this? I'm not sure. Can you tell like something about like career path for this career? What it will be? What it start from? Like or like opportunity to use in the future career for the next opportunities. What can you have guide some?
Okay. I would have to say,
Mm-hmm.
it is, well, yes. I don't want to sound arrogant while saying it, but it's not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But um, if you are the type of person that who is open to, going down a path which is actually broad and bumpy,
Mm-hmm.
this would be a right career path. Now, why do I say that, right? So as you can see, like technically anyone can be doing business development because there is no real like link between what you study and what that or
Mm.
whether you can be a business development executive. Now, for an example, you learn law to be a lawyer, right? Although
Mm.
you have a choice not to be, but
Mm.
you get what I'm saying. You learn medicine to become a doctor. You learn accounting to become an accountant. So
Mm.
something which is actually very broad. And like I said so earlier, it excited me because it's kind of like, hey, I can actually do a lot of things, right? And that
Mm.
might not be everyone's cup of tea. Some
Mm.
people they like more like stability. Okay, this is something that if I do this, I'm gonna get that, right?
Mm.
So definitely, if you're having that sort of mindset with your career, I would not recommend doing business development.
Mm.
However, if this is something that is kind of like, okay, you're venturing into this road, is it's not the road not taken, it's the road that you're taking and you have no idea what's in front of you, right?
Mm.
So you're taking that risk. So there's a lot of opportunities that you can lead from business development, because
Mm.
like I said, if it's something that you if you're having the opportunity to work in a company that allows you to learn the entire aspects of the business,
Mm.
the next path for you would be entrepreneurial.
Mm.
you know? So that means that you yourself, you're able to, okay, I want to do this product because I believe these are my risks. These are the legislations that I need to follow. These are the things that I need to do on how to establish a company. So you
Mm.
already know that thought process. So it leads you to be your pathway would be an entrepreneur, right?
Mm.
In other words, you can also actually, um, another pathway is for you to be a business strategist. No. So what do I mean by business strategist is that, you have to be in the shoes of the company of whereby you're going to have to think, right? How can I perfect or improve the solutions that I'm providing for a certain target group,
Mm.
right? That's one. So that's maybe the current business that you have. But of course, I also have to think about diversification. So diversification basically means that I have more areas to garner income or revenue, and to see whether this can add value to the existing business that I have now,
Mm.
right? So, like for example, SW1 is doing interior design, and an interior design is basically designing space for the people. Okay, let's diversify and implement workplace change management, whereby it prepares people for
Mm.
the space. Then doesn't it make sense so that we become, to create a workplace solution?
Mm.
No brainer. So that is also, the path that you can take. I mean, under business development.
Mm.
Um, and I would say, another path I would think of really is actually, you can do a lot of consulting, or like careers that involve speaking, right? Because business development people, you need to become orators sometimes. You have to do a presentation to a huge crowd.
Mm.
Sometimes you're at a seminar and everything. That is also an opportunity for you,
Mm.
when you're venturing into business development, because you actually garner that kind of confidence. You need to get yourself prepared to think about, what is it I have to say to my target audience. How do I want to make sure that my target audience is benefiting
Mhm.
from what I'm trying to say to them. I see some of them became motivational speakers, um,
Mm.
or natural orators, or even MCs. They can
Mm.
even, or hosts, right? So that those are the kind of broader or more different career path that you can
Mm.
venture to once you're in business development. So I think, yes, you can see from there, there's different varieties, right, of how and what you can do. So one is more entrepreneurial, one is actually more creative for public speaking kind of sphere, and another one is more consulting, because you're forced into the position where, how do I come up with a, um, a logical business strategy or a sound business strategy for the company. So yeah, these other
Yeah.
paths that
Really, you pointing at a really good point, because most of the career in the market or the work reality is not only like a doctor or soldier or teacher, but most of the career is that the way, the process that you can learn something, like you said, you can learn how to think, how to figure innovative solutions, how to do things better, how even like you learn something like how they do something in business as well. Even like later you can do like your own business as well. So it's really kind of like open world for like risk taker or people who are really open mind, or like to take chance, to take things to be like, how to say, like open doors, like many doors for themselves. So yeah, and the reality of working is mostly be like this. So you do it, you do something, you get something, but at the final you decide what you want to be, where you want to go in the future. Maybe you don't have to go to be succeed like I say the head of business development like Natasha, but maybe you can do whatever you want to in the future. Just use knowledge from working in this career to support your goal that you want to be or you want to do in the future, right?
yeah,
Really
absolutely.
good. So, okay, so maybe just few more questions for now. So, what do you got from working in this career, or what do you learn from? What did you learn from working in this career, Natasha?
Wow. I learned how to multitask. All right. Yeah. Because it's
Okay.
like why I say that is especially when you're going to have to do a million things at one time.
Mm,
So, because people when they want to come out and tender stuff, right? For an example, tenders are issued, they don't really care about whether your company is actually busy. They just know that, okay, guys, there's a tender, so you're gonna have to submit by this time. Sucks to be you, but if you want to get the project, you're gonna have to do this. So, you have different kinds of, I mean, I have those different kind of things coming at me at one time, and it's
mm,
kind of like, okay, I'm gonna have to prioritize, right? So just
mm,
imagine like running three tenders plus one ongoing project at one time.
mm,
So the kind of brain power that I have to remember all of these things,
mm,
it's definitely an experience in itself. So definitely what I've learned is that, this, to basically multitask and to
mm,
prioritize
mm,
which ones that I need to do first.
mm,
Because, I mean, I'm guilty of that, when I was younger. Definitely it's kind of like, okay, I have to do everything. But, instead of prioritizing, I just do things by a weird sequence. And then at the end of the day, I would falter. So, so that's what I feel like the best, the one of the things that I've learned in doing my career is to multitask.
mm,
Secondly is to I would say manage people. Like I said so before, right? You will encounter different people, right? And in any company and in any office, or it doesn't have to be an office, in any work, there is bound to be some kind of emotional friction or office politics, as you would call it. And where does this all stem from?
mm.
It all stems from human behavior. It's just naturally being human, right?
Yes.
You have your
Mm,
own biasness, you have your own opinions, and
background, your own problems, your own feelings behind it.
exactly. So because of that, dealing with human beings is one of the toughest things, right? Sometimes people just say fairly easy, you got to have teamwork, you got to work with this person, and you have no idea working with a difficult person or a person who's non-cooperative, but you know that you're going to have to deliver this, and you know that it has to get done. So what do? So that's something that I learned very, very much. It's like, there's so many different characters, there's so many different behaviors, and no matter what job that you do or what career that you go through, you're going to have to really deal with different characters, and that will affect the output, right? Your work output will definitely be affected. So those are, those are the two main things that I've learned, being in this career, dealing with people as well as multitasking.
Okay, so it's really good point. So here I got from you is like multitasking, so skill. But actually, multitasking skill is like you said, is not like you have to do one job in this or many jobs in the same time. But you have to prioritize like which job is the most important at that time, and you have to focus it first. Then you can prioritize to do the second job, the second work, and the third work again. So in each time, in each situation, you have to prioritize to do like a task, right? So this is kind of like a multitasking skill. So really good point because when with I think with every career they have to do like not only one jobs or one work at a time. Maybe like their managers, their leaders want something, business wants something at that time, so they have to change what they are working like to do something else instead. So it's really need to prioritize things. So prioritizing skill is really important as well. So yeah, really good point. And another point is that people management, people like skills. So in every work, I think if we are not only like working alone, even like it's like technical career, like IT, even they have to contact with less people, but at the final they still have to work with people because
Yes.
working right life is that we have to contact, we have to do with people. We only if you search, even you do like something like microbiotic research, you still have to contact or give that info to other people as well. So
Correct. Yeah.
skill is really, how I say, beyond. Maybe in the school, in our university, they don't teach us about this. So it's
Yeah.
really, we have to prepare and to learn because in real life, in real work, we have to face, we have to deal with this. So any tips for dealing or working with people, Natasha?
Okay, I would definitely say empathy is very, very important, right? So, because again, there are always um, reasons as to why a person is behaving a certain way. So, empathy definitely helps a lot in dealing with people, because you're gonna have to provide your colleagues or your, to a certain extent, your superiors as well, the benefit of the doubt,
Mm,
right? So, you might never know that, that person is currently going through a bad day, or actually, something ill has happened to that person, or that person is not, feeling well. That there's so many different factors that comes to it, right? But
mm,
of course, when you have empathy at the same time, empathy also means that you're looking inward to yourself, because
mm,
it's more like, okay, what are the contributions that are needed in fulfilling this particular task. So
mm,
you have a responsibility to carry, that person has got a responsibility to carry. So from there, and understanding the different circumstances that's happening to that person or even to yourself, and by having empathy, it allows you to actually work well better with other people, because you're coming from a position of understanding that, hey, yeah,
mm,
stuff does happen, right? And then sometimes and they're most of the time they're inevitable, and it's not by choice. So it's something that we're gonna have to, lend a hand to another person, because you never know when the tables will turn. So empathy is very important, I feel, in managing people. So and any other form of care, of course, obviously you need to be friendly. You need to basically try to be as inclusive as you can, and accepting of the differences of others, of course, but I think that if you lack that empathy, then it's very difficult for you to with you, or even having people to deal with you, basically. So I think that's the most one of the most important things that we need to do when it comes to people management.
Yeah, I think it's really like the future trend, and back, I don't know, but we can say like empathy. The world needs empathy also, even like in the working world, the real life world. So empathy is something that really everybody needs other to understand. So like at their points, try to understand them at their point of view, their situation. So I think even like we work with other, we be friends with other people. I think we can be a good friend, we can be a good co-worker, we can be a good manager as well. So use your understanding to try to understand other people, I think, and help them, and the way we can, and communicate with them the way that we should. So, and concern about something to make like less conflict or politics to happen. So I think it's really helped to make, I say, both of us like even like it's kind of like win-win situation. We are good, we are happy, you are happy. So
Yeah.
yeah, the work, the result is good also, because when we are happy, when people is happy, yeah, the result of work will be good as well. So yeah, thank you so much, Natasha. So really great information from you today, and from your experience, really great. And I don't know anything else that you want to say to maybe the viewer in the future.
Okay. I mean, nothing much. I think I've been talking a lot. Oh my god, So, but I would definitely say, like, this is what I actually say to people that I'm close to, right? My brother, my boyfriend, even my good friends and my best friends, right? And I feel that, it's about time if I could share it, with the world in a way. My advice for people, who's working, or in any form of career path, doesn't matter, right? Not just business development and change management, but anything, in fact. Always have pride in your work. I think that that is lacking a lot, and we see, and I'm pretty sure, right? We see a lot of our friends or acquaintances that we know, they're actually doing the work that they don't like, doing work that they don't enjoy. It's either because they don't get opportunities, or they feel that they won't get to work in places which they feel more comfortable, or maybe that place actually gives them a really, really good pay, but a very bad work experience. And so there's so many different factors that actually come into it. Some people just don't care. Truly, they're kind of like, yeah, I'm just coming here and just getting paid and whatever, I'll just do the bare minimum or whatever that's just expected of me, and I don't want to go over and above, so that's why I feel like it's a shame when that happens. And I really feel like, you know having pride in your work will allow you to gain some form of happiness in your career. So, you don't want to be dreading your feet going to work every day. It's not a nice feeling. And that actually contributes to a lot of other emotional impacts. That's why sometimes people get depressed, from it. So I think it's really important to have that pride, because once you have the pride, I think that you would build a good career for yourself, because you are going over and above usually, and you're not calculative of the things that you need to do. And in fact, it will allow you to learn new things, right? And I feel that you can really gain that happiness is important, and ownership, right? So when you have pride in your work, you really, ensure that when I do something, I'm accountable for it, and I have the responsibility, and I'm accountable for it. So if there's anything, if it turns out well, then of course, it's natural if I do get praised. But if I don't do well, it's something that I need to look inward and see what were the mistakes that I've done, and how I can improve it, so that I don't repeat the same mistakes, or there will be a better way of working. So I think having pride in your work is very, very important. I think that we should really look into, again, our own happiness. I think we really just don't care, or don't take care of ourselves that much. And being happy in work, and to be honest, once you're an adult, it's rather unfair, because you do spend a lot of time at work as opposed to at home, right? Then I think that you should you should allow yourself to be entitled to be happy. And by doing so, when you have that pride, you will be, even though you're tired, you at least you won't feel the form of regret.
Mm. Mm. Really great tips to work and to live your life, Natasha. Thank you so much for spending time with me tonight today, because I know you are really busy right now at the moment, and thank you so much for being here to join and to share your experience, share your knowledge, to share your perspective, share your tips to work better, to live your life better. So I want to do just a bit conclusion what Natasha just said. So in the summary, I think just do what you love, find the thing that you love to do, and love what you do what you love. So
Yes.
you will be happy, and you can do it for a really long time, and you can succeed uh, whatever you are doing. So, and another thing, find the right place to work and the right people to work with as well. So if
Yep.
but before you can do that, start with knowing yourself, be open, be empathetic as well to anything that will come to your life, to your career. So if you know yourself, you will find, you will know who or where will be the right place, the right people to work with you. So, and you will be happy and succeed in your life. Thank you so much, Natasha, for today. And see you next time again if we have opportunity to do a new live in a new topics in the future. Thank you so much today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting us. I actually love this session. I'm sorry that it overran and all of that. Oh my God, I have to be mindful of my time. But
That's okay. That's okay. Just for chilling. And this is the first episode, so really great. I think it is really great already. So the great beginning here happened already. So thank you so much for be I would say my honorable guest. Special guest for the beginning. Okay. Thank you so much,
thank
Natasha.
you guys, all of the best for your program. Okay.
Thank you. See you again.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.